You're on the mic with ST at Fight Fan Corner. Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Who you got in that fight and why?
Personally, I think, it's an easy night's work for AJ. I just think AJ just levels above him. I think you see with Miller, if you look at the comparisons of their fighters, the boxers they fought, I think Joshua's boxed the better guy. He's been in there with Klitschko. He's no mug of an opponent. I just think Miller's just not. He's just done more of that rather than, actually the fighting. I just think it's a good selling point as well. The whole build-up about, just before them trash talking and stuff. I just think AJ's gonna be too much for him. I can't see it going past 6 rounds, to be honest.
So just an easy night's work. Miller don't really deserve it. He just talked his way into the fight.
Well, that's the thing. All he's done is he's not actually spoke about boxing. All he's done is just spoke smack about AJ, and that's all he's got, really, isn't he? And I just think AJ's going to work him out in the first 2-3 rounds, and he's just going to play with him and to stop him in the 6th round, I'd say. But I can't see. I'll be surprised if it goes past 6 rounds, I tell you.
Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Obviously, that was a big fight in boxing. Scored a draw. What did you think? Who do you think won that fight?
Obviously, I've always been a big fan of Fury. I've always said from day one. I was actually one of, the few people that actually, thought he'd beat Klitschko. And obviously, looking at the Wilder fight, a lot of people still wrote Fury off of that as well, saying it was too late. Too early for him and stuff. The way I had it, the way the fight went is how I planned it in my head. I just felt Fury's going to play with him for 6 or 7 rounds, but I felt Wilder still had that knockout power, sort of. I think he can. Wilder's also proven in a lot of his fights he only needs one punch, to finish the fight. And he nearly done that with Fury, but obviously Fury being the fighting man that he is, he took that. But I don't think it was a draw. I think Fury won that at least by 6-7 rounds.
So you got that as a big robbery.
Big robbery. It's a daylight robbery, man. I just think they robbed him off one of the biggest stories of boxing. The whole mental health thing and all that. I just think they robbed him. They're silly, man. So I'll probably say easy. It's Fury won that. Hands down, man.
So you got the top 3 guys. It's Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Who do you think is the king out of all 3?
Do you know what? If you look at it on paper, with the belts and that, obviously AJ's got most of the belts. And I'm a big fan of AJ. I love all 3 of the heavyweights. But I just think the better boxer for me is Fury. I just think Fury will mentally get to you. And I just think when he's in there, a lot of people look at his style from the outside and think, right, a lot of people may suss him out and that, but if you're in there, it's a total different ball game, isn't it? So I think for me it's Fury, then it's AJ, and then it's Wilder. But I think in terms of knockout, I'll probably say Wilder top there, only because he's just got that one punch knockout power in he, and then probably AJ second. But for me, my favourite, the boxer I think would beat both, probably Fury for me, man. I think he'd beat both of them the same night, in my opinion. No disrespect to AJ, I'm a big fan of AJ. My family like him as well. They're probably going to give me stick now that I've said this, but trust me, man.
Everybody loves AJ.
That's the thing. AJ, honestly, he's a top. He's a wicked professional. Like I said, just over 20 fights, and him winning that many belts again, it's no joke, man. And he beat Klitschko. He come out, deep waters to beat Klitschko, didn't he? So, but yeah, man, I think Fury for me, man, all day long, yeah.
So moving down from the top 3, we got Dillian White, we got the likes of Ortiz. What do you think about the guys just below? What do you think about Dillian White? You didn't take the AJ fight. Some people are giving him stick. Some people are saying AJ gave him a low ball offer. What do you think about that?
I'll tell you, for me, Dillian White, a lot of people look at Dillian White like just AJ's opponent. But I felt even at that fight, Dillian White showed some skill as well. I just felt that fight was obviously a tear up as well, but just after that, have you noticed how Dillian White is actually just improved and improved and improved? Look at against Derek Chisora, he was so relaxed and he just caught him with one punch like that. Again, one punch changes the whole fight. And I just felt Dillian White, for me, I think the second round against AJ, I think it caused AJ problems. But I think just because of AJ, and I think AJ's improved as well, I still think AJ might just have that edge over him. So I'll probably say again, late stoppage from AJ from that one. Yeah.
What do you think about Luis Ortiz?
Drug cheat, mate. I can't stand drug cheats, and it's as simple as that. I just think to myself, he shouldn't even be in the ring, mate, because, he got caught, and fair play to Wilder for fighting him, because that was still a dangerous fight, because he's still skillful as well. You've got to give it to him for that. But I think I just don't rate no drug cheats, man. I just think to myself, if you're cheating in this game, you know, you're a coward, isn't it? Simple as that. So if you're listening to this, Ortiz, you're a coward, mate. Simple.
Coming down to the cruiserweight division, we've got Lawrence Okoli, we've got upcoming prospect Richard Riakporhe, we've got Isaac Chamberlain, we've got Wadi Camacho. What do you think about the current cruiserweight division? Who do you think sits at the top at British level?
I mean, obviously for me, it's Lawrence Okoli and Isaac Chamberlain. I just think, obviously, the first fight didn't live up to the expectations. But, you know, they said about Chamberlain, did he have a shoulder injury or something? I think he had a shoulder injury, didn't he? So I just think that fight, maybe, in my opinion, happened a bit early. But I think right now, on paper, I think Lawrence Okoli is just sort of sitting up there. But I can see him and Chamberlain fighting again and having like a trilogy sort of, you know, like fighting second time, maybe the third time. But for me right now, Lawrence Okoli is the up and coming. But I mean, to be honest, they're the only cruisers I kind of watch. I don't really watch any other cruiserweights as much, to be honest with you, man. I mean, I watch obviously, you know, Usyk, Bellew, but apparently Usyk's moving up to heavyweight, isn't he, or something? So for me, at the minute, the British, I think, is probably Lawrence Okoli, for me personally.
Moving down to a division that's a bit more popular right now in the fans' minds, light heavyweight. You got Anthony Yarde, Joshua Buatsi, you got Hosea Burton, you got the champion Sergey Kolarov, Dmitry Bivol, Berturbayev. What do you think about that mix?
I'll tell you, I mean, again, like, do you know, for me, because I'm a lightweight myself, and obviously I watch a lot of lighter fighters, the featherweights, the welterweights, and that. But obviously, I have watched some of the light heavyweights as well. I think for me, Joshua Buatsi is just on another level. Like Anthony Yarde, again, I'm a big fan of as well because the geezer's, you know, he's serious. He's got serious power. I believe he won his fight yesterday, didn't he? But I just think, for me, Joshua Buatsi is just on another level. I just think you look at his fights, the way his punches are so crisp, aren't they? And I just think if them two were to ever fight, him and Anthony Yarde, I'd probably say Joshua Buatsi, man, for me personally. But that's just to me from boxing ability. I think him hands down. But then again, it's boxing. One punch can change everything, can't it?
So for 2019, if you could pick 3 fights that you want to see, what would them fights be?
Do you know what? There's so many fights, man. But you know what? One of them, it has to be AJ and Fury. It's got to be. I mean, like, that's one fight I would, you know, I'd love to see. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. I'd love to see that as well. I mean, obviously, personally, I think that's not going to happen now because if Khan, let's be real, if Khan does lose his next fight against Crawford, I think he'll call it a day after that. But hopefully, you know, he gets past Crawford, which is going to be a hard night's work, man. But for me, Khan and Brook. The third fight, that's clever. I need to think, man. There's a lot of fighters out there, isn't it? So I'll probably say, you know, I can't pick third because again, there's so many fights. I've got to be wise here. There's 3 fights, and do you know what?
Yarde Buatsi, maybe.
That as well, but I think in terms of a big fight, like, you know, I'm on about world. I mean, as a British fight, yeah, of course, yeah, Buatsi and Yarde, but I'll probably say Usyk and AJ. I'd like to see that as well. I know it's random. A lot of people think, you know, why are you saying that? But I think that fight, I think Usyk will surprise a lot of people. But then again, AJ is naturally the bigger guy. One punch changes everything, doesn't it? So yeah, those are my 3 fights. Well, 4 fights, but yeah, 3 fights predictions, yeah, for 2019, yeah.
Thanks for talking to Fight Fan Corner TV.
Thanks a lot, man. Cheers.